welcome to highlights of the 1990 Australian Grand Prix, brought to you by Micropose and GP2Joey. This dramatic season closes here on the streets of Adelaide, and the 2.3 mile street circuit is a driver's favourite and always produces one of the most exciting races of the year. Britain's Joey Davies has won the last 4 races in a row and will surely be looking to close out his Williams-Renault career with one final visit to the top step of the podium as he continues his battle with countryman Martin Brundle for 3rd place in the points standings behind Nelson Piquet and champion Ayrton Senna. With only 11 points separating Ferrari and McLaren-Honda, the Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs with the Italian marque hot favourites. In the week leading up to the race, Senna confirmed they would become Bon Metal for next year, and Derek Warwick appeared to be edging closer to a seat at Tyrrell, whilst Benetton were harassing Joe Racing about releasing Riccardo Patrese from his deal with them. Lotus then told Benetton that Mika Hakkinen was off the menu and under contract, which then prompted the surprise announcement that Warwick had signed a 1-year deal with Benetton instead. Minardi then confirmed their 1991 package, and popular back markers Eurobrun regretfully confirmed the rumours that they were closing their doors after the race, and with team boss Walter Brun announcing the news, whilst Damon Hill was then confirmed at Brabham for next year, with JJ Leto signing up with BMS Dallara alongside Emanuele Pirro. With the importance of Friday morning's pre-qualifying session at an all-time high to see who would need to be required to participate in the session at the start of next year, the on-track action was hot from the start as drivers fought to find a decent lap time, and for Eurobrun it would be a final chance to qualify and say goodbye to the sport. But for JJ Leto and Oscar Nerari, still unable to find a drive anywhere else for 1991, it was a disaster, with Pierluigi Martini turning the quickest lap in the Minardi as they were joined in the race qualifying by AGS and Osella, and their rivals were forced to pack up and catch their flights home, their season done. Afterwards, an emotional Eurobrun boss Walter Brun thanked everyone for their support, as did Larari, who also vowed to do all he could to be returning next year. Friday afternoon's first qualifying session saw Davies struggling once more to get a balance in his Williams, with the Brit spinning a few times before his car was incredibly found to be underweight and his lap times were deleted. At McLaren, Alain Prost was in good form and the Frenchman looked solid around the bumpy track, and despite a season of poor reliability, he remained optimistic about getting a second pole for the year. But it was the Arrows Ilmore of Brundle who was fastest, his car looking just as solid as it did when he won the last street race in Monaco, with Prost in second ahead of Nigel Mansell in the Williams, Johnny Herbert in the second Arrows, and the 2 Ferraris of Senna and Gerhard Berger in 5th and 6th. Afterwards, a frustrated Davies said he wasn't surprised that there had been issues with his Williams again, and Martin Brundle was then confirmed to be partnering Damon Hill at Brabham for next season. Saturday was hot and the drivers found a lot more grip, with a number of them going quicker than they had managed 24 hours earlier, and as Prost and Brundle continued to push the limits of their cars and Senna fought with understeer in his Ferrari, from nowhere the number 6 Williams of Davies suddenly appeared fastest in the first 2 sectors, with the Briton hell-bent on signing off the awkwardness of his time at Williams in a manner he has become accustomed to of late. It was a stunning lap from the 26-year-old who crossed the line after one of the laps of the season to claim his 4th pole of the year, ahead of a recovering Senna, Prost, Brundle, Mansell and Herbert in 6th, whilst Gabriele Tarquini and Gianni Morbidelli both failed to qualify. So it's Davies and Senna on the front row, with Alain Prost and Martin Brundle on row 2. Row 3 is Mansell and Herbert. Row 4 is Berger and Piquet. Row 5 is Patrese and Hakkinen. Row 6 is Alesi and Moreno. Row 7 is Blundell and Warwick. Row 8 is Donnelly and Boutsen. Row 9 is Bernard and Larini. Row 10 is Nakajima and Suzuki. Row 11 is Martini and Gugelmin. Row 12 is Barillia and Capelli. And at the back, it's Battaglia and Dalmas. It's a cloudless blue sky here in Adelaide as we get ready for the final race of the 1990 season. The red lights come on, and it's go! Davies is away strongly from pole position. Senna makes a bit of a poor start in the Ferrari, but look at Martin Brundle on the outside. He's going to try and go for it, but Davies cuts him off, and Davies runs over the curbing. He just about manages to keep control of the car, but that's going to give him, Brundle and Alain Prost, a little bit of momentum now as they approach the next turn, which is the right-hander, and Prost goes for the inside, but he's left his braking too late, and Prost runs wide. He's over the curb, and he's lost his front wing. He's lost the left front of part of his front wing. Incredible development. Alain Prost makes a very rare mistake. I think his brakes must have just been a little bit too cold, but Davies is away into the lead. Brundle is second, Prost is third, and he's going to start dropping back as Senna passes him, and Nigel Mansell goes around the outside, around the left-hander. Prost is down to fifth with Herbert in sixth, and Herbert goes through on the inside. Berger looks to make a move as well, but he can't get through. It's Prost down to sixth place now. Piquet in sixth, Prost is seventh, Berger's eighth, Patrese ninth, Hakkinen is 10th, and back up front, Davies has got a 1.4 second lead over Martin Brundle. What a fantastic start.
Tremendous start from Joey Davies and Martin Brundle, with Alain Prost obviously losing quite a few places there. Senna charging in third place in the Ferrari, with Nigel Mansell desperately trying to keep up as they go over the line for the first time.
We're on board with Joey Davies now. He's 1.5 seconds to the good. He's gained a 10th over the last sector over Martin Brundle, with Senna pushing that Ferrari to try and stay with them as Alain Prost comes into the pits to get his nose replaced. But I'm not sure that that's going to give him much hope for the rest of this race, because Alain Prost is now going to be way down the points, and it's going to have to be a recovery drive from the Frenchman, who Joey Davies is going to be joining next year at McLaren. And I'm sure that he and us and many other people cannot wait to see him in the red and white McLaren-Honda. It's going to be epic to watch him. But Ayrton Senna is in third place, and he's now dropped 4 seconds behind Davies. And Mansell is harrying the Brazilian in the Ferrari as much as he can, with Johnny Herbert in 5th place. And there's Martin Donnelly and Derek Warwick battling once more in the Lotus. What a fantastic year Donnelly's having, with Derek Warwick losing places. And there's Alesi looking to make a move on Hakkinen. Is Alesi going to be able to get through? He can't. And there's Warwick, who's being attacked by one of the Joas Porsches. I think that's Moreno, who's having another sterling drive in the Joas. And that's a great move as Blundell goes through into 14th place.
Back up front, Brundle has really closed the gap on Davies now. Let's see what can happen now as Davies will slow out of the chicane. Brundle's going to try and go for the inside. Davies goes to the defensive on the inside, forces Brundle to take the wider line around the outside, but Brundle can't do anything about it, with Senna lurking quietly in the background. What fantastic racing we've got today.
It's going to be interesting to see if Davies can get past that Minardi of Barilla, if he's going to get held up, because Brundle is pushing. He desperately wants to get his second race win of the year after his last time out in Monaco, which is where he won the last street race that we had. But Davies, he's getting held up a little bit there by Barilla as they both pull out. Davies goes through onto the Jack Brabham straight. And is Brundle going to be able to get in the slipstream and make a move? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Davies looks like he's got it covered, but Brundle goes to the inside. Brundle takes the lead. Fantastic pass. He totally took Davies totally unawares there. And Brundle is into the lead of the Grand Prix. Fantastic driving from the Englishman, who's ahead of Davies, with Senna still in third. It's Piquet in fourth, Mansell fifth, Herbert sixth, Berger is seventh, Patrese in eighth, Hakkinen ninth, and Alesi in 10th. And those two are in an epic battle, those two young hotshots, with Alesi joining Williams for next year to replace Joey Davies. And Hakkinen, he's already committed his future to the Lotus team, but Benetton were desperately trying to get him for next year, and obviously they weren't able to do so.
We're on board with Martin Brundle, and Joey Davies is absolutely hounding, and Davies is looking any way he can, and he's through. Davies makes a late second lunge, but they don't touch, which is great. But Brundle's going to try and stay with him, and he can't. Davies is through. Fantastic racing. Great to see from these two. They gave each other plenty of room, and there was plenty of hard racing going on, and that's what we want to see. Drivers not making any contact as we look at Nelson Piquet in 4th place. Yet another fine race from the Brazilian, who's driving in his last race in the McLaren before he hands over to Joey Davies for next season.
Senna, he's absolutely pushing as much as he can now. He's 5.3 seconds behind Brundle and Davies. And Piquet is really going to have to try and keep up with them as Brundle comes into the pits. Brundle makes his stop. His first stop, you think that everyone's going to be making 2 or 3 stops today. And it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out, because Davies has now got some back markers in front of him. That's Batascia and the Osella. But obviously Osella are changing their name to Fonmetal for next year. And I'm not sure if Batascia is going to be with them. But we're not really that bothered about him, because it's Joey Davies that we want to be concentrating on. as he's going to try and go around the Italian. He's through, he's round the outside, and Davies has been absolutely on it since Saturday afternoon, and he's looking very strong today. But don't be under any illusions. The battle between him and Martin Brundle is of epic proportions, because Brundle is absolutely flying along on his outlap in the Arrows, and it's going to be interesting to see when Davies comes in, and he's in. Joey Davies is into the pits as Senna rounds the final hairpin. Let's have a look to see what happens with Joey Davies now. We do enjoy these shots as he comes into the pits, onto the marks, and the Williams boys are ready for him one last time. The brakes are on, a little wipe of the visor from the chief mechanic. It's a good stop. All four wheels are back on. It's 9.2 seconds. He's got to try and get out in front of the AGS, and he does. I think that was Yannick Dowers as we look at the Fury Suzuki, and he hits Joey Davies coming out of the pits. Extraordinary development. Davies has hit the LaRousse of Suzuki, and Davies has lost his front wheel, and he's going to have to come in. He's going to have to do another lap with only 3 wheels on his Williams-Renault, and that means that any hope he had of victory today surely is going to be gone. And Brundle is lurking in the Arrows Ilmore as Piquet looks like his car's twitching, and Davies, he's struggling to get around the right-handers. He's holding them up, and Brundle no doubt is going to zip through on the inside. He goes through Davies, tries to fight him, but he has to give it up. He has to give up the position, and Piquet's going to try and find his way through. And this is so reminiscent of the kind of thing we used to see the late Gilles Villeneuve do when he was racing, as Berger goes past Davies, and one of the Tyrrells, I think that's Alesi, going past him. And Ayrton Senna is into the lead. Fantastic stuff as we look at Satoru Nakajima. And is that Davies nearly losing it? That was Joey Davies. He's had to come in for another pit stop. He's got the new wheel on, but he's absolutely struggling. He's all over the place. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Has he got another problem with the tyres?
Extraordinary scenes as Joey Davies really seems to be battling with his car, but finally he looks like he's got it sorted, and Senna looks like he's lurking in the background to possibly even lap Davies. What extraordinary scenes we've got today. Senna's in the lead with Nigel Mansell in second place. It's Martin Brundle in third place with Piquet fourth, and Johnny Herbert's fifth as Nakajima comes into the pits along with race leader Nigel Mansell, which means that Ayrton Senna is going to take the lead once more. And Alesi is up into seventh place, and he's looking to close the gap on Gerhard Berger, which is 5 seconds as we see Nigel Mansell pulling out of the pits. And Ayrton Senna's back into the lead, and is Ayrton Senna on his way to collect yet another race victory. Let's not forget he hasn't won a race since the Italian Grand Prix back in September, and this would be extraordinary. You can hear the crowds are absolutely cheering him on as Jean Alesi comes into the pits, into the Tyrrell.
And there's Mark Blundell. Blundell's battling Boutsen. It's going to be interesting to see what Blundell can do, because obviously he's just managed to get a new contract with the Brabham team announced this weekend, which is great for him. He's going to be still racing, and Boutsen's through into 14th place. Fantastic drive from the Belgian, who's going to be moving out of that team as Martin Brundle comes into the pits. He's got to try and close up on Ayrton Senna. Let's see how fast the stop is from the Arrows boys. Another wipe of the visor. They're so good at clearing all the buds and all the dirt and the grime off of these great car drivers' crash helmets. It's 8.5 seconds. What a fast stop that was. As Patrici's into the pits, and Herbert's through into 5th place. Patrici's in 7th place, and Roberto Moreno is out of yet another Grand Prix. And here's Alain Prost on Martin Donnelly. He's racing the Lotus man, but Donnelly just carves up the Frenchman and says, absolutely not, you're not coming through. I've been impressive this year, and I'm going to keep it that way, thank you very much. But Alain Prost, he's going to be absolutely desperate to try and get past him. And Ayrton Senna, he's 11.6 seconds to the good over Nigel Mansell, with Johnny Herbert in 3rd place. Brundle's in 4th, Piquet's in 5th. And look at this, that's Davies and Piquet. Davies has really been motoring along completely unnoticed by everybody, and he's up into 6th place, and he's catching Piquet, and this is the man he's obviously going to be replacing, as Brundle looks like he's struggling to let one of the Arrows through. That was Johnny Herbert. But what happened with Piquet and Davies, I'm not sure. I don't think Davies has managed to get past him yet. And Nigel Mansell in 2nd place, he's pushing, and there's Piquet. Piquet's off. I'm not sure if there was any contact between him and Davies, but Piquet is off.
Extraordinary. Piquet is in his last race at McLaren now. He's in 6th place. Joey Davies up into 5th place, with Herbert in 4th. Brundle 4th. Herbert is in 3rd as Suzuki comes into the pits once more. And Mansell is 13 seconds behind Senna. He's looking to close the gap on the Brazilian, who's just pulling ahead. It's a canter for him today, an absolute canter, with a Lacey and Hakkinen as Boutsen runs wide once more. He's really struggling again today in the Joas Racing, and I'm pretty sure that he cannot wait to get out of that car and step into the Ligier team, who he's going to be joining next season. And here's Davies up into 4th place because he's got ahead of Martin Brundle. We're not sure what's happened there. I'm not sure if we're going to get a replay of that, but hopefully we will do, because he's now ahead. And Joey Davies is in 4th place, with Nigel Mansell still pushing along in 2nd.
Fantastic racing, and that's Nakajima spun in the middle of the track. And you can see Herbert and Davies, they are absolutely neck and neck as they managed to avoid the stricken Tyrrell. And is he going to be able to get it spun around in time? He's managed to get the engine going, and Senna carries on pushing. And look at this, we're on board with Joey Davies now, and he's closed the gap on Johnny Herbert for 3rd place, and he's desperate to try and get ahead of his countryman. It's fantastic for England, because you've got Senna in the lead, but then you've got Mansell, Herbert, Davies and Brundle, all British drivers, 4 of them in a row. It's fantastic to see, and Ayrton Senna's over the line yet again, and he's got a 19-second lead now over Nigel Mansell, with Davies another 10 seconds back, and Larini is going to be pulling out. He's out in the Ligier. His final race for the team, and he is out. His engine has expired. Johnny Herbert, he's got to try and stay with Davies as much as he can, but he can't do anything about it. He's 3 seconds behind him. He's obviously not been able to get past the traffic as well as Davies did, who's into the pits for his 2nd stop. Davies is up to the marks. What a recovery drive this has been so far for him, but he's going to drop back down the order as he's up on the checks. The visor is wiped beautifully from the chief mechanic yet again as usual, but it's another slow stop for the team. It's 9.7 seconds, and he can't find a gear. He couldn't find a gear to get out. Oh, that could be trouble for him as Derek Warwick comes through. And where's Davies going to beat out? He's got hit, and he's collected by Gerhard Berger. The 2nd pit stop, and he's got hit again by one of the Larousses. Is that Suzuki? You couldn't write it. You couldn't write this in a script. Davies comes out of the pits. He gets hit by Gerhard Berger. He gets hit by a Akira Suzuki, and he's still managing to go around the circuit. What an incredible development for the Englishman.
I'm not sure if that's actually bad luck or just stupidity on the part of Joey Davies, but that is unbelievable as Senna comes into the pits for what could well be his final pit stop, and Hakkinen is in the young Finn. But Davies, I'm not sure what's happened to him, because he's really lost his head at times today, and I'm not sure if he just pulled out of the pit totally unaware that there were other cars coming, but that's really his fault. He's pulled over, and there's Martin Brundle pulling into retirement just to make his nice little bookend for his season with the Ligier team, as Johnny Herbert comes into the pits from 5th position, as does Nelson Piquet.
All the drivers are all coming into the pits in one go, it would seem, but Davies is down to 8th place. Incredible, he's had to make yet another stop, so I believe that that's the 4th pit stop he's had to make. And there's Alain Prost. Is it a surprise he's out? No, it's not. He's retired from more races than anybody else this year, and the defending world champion, well, the 1989 world champion, has had absolutely no luck this year. And we look at Davies slipping it up the inside of Nelson Piquet, and he's over the curbs, he lost it, and Piquet's gone back in front of him. What a battle this is. Davies is pushing yet again, and he's got fresh tyres with Piquet. Unable to do anything about the speed of that Williams, but he's through on the Quetterville straight now as they head up towards the Jack Mountain straight. As Gougerman is out of the race, and Davies is going to just stay right behind the gearbox of that McLaren, which is going to be his from 1991 onwards for the next 2 years. And Davies pulls out alongside Piquet, and he's through. Davies is into 5th place now, with Herbert in 4th. It's Brundle in 3rd, Mansell 2nd. Senna's the race leader still, 22 seconds ahead. But Davies is pushing all the way to try and catch Herbert and Brundle. And he's absolutely on it. Brundle and Herbert seem to be struggling on their tyres. They are losing time. Mansell's 23 seconds behind Senna, but Brundle and Herbert are 35 and 38 seconds behind them. And there's Hakkinen, a sterling drive yet again from him in 9th place with a Lacey in 10th. But Davies is catching Herbert. He's all over the gearbox of the arrows. Look at this. He has a look on the inside, but he can't do anything there. As they approach the final hairpin, Herbert's going to try and go for the defensive, and Davies looks as if he's going to try and bounce, and he goes for the inside. He locks up massively, and Herbert goes through, but he doesn't. Davies is earlier on the power, and he's through. He's into 4th place. Listen to the crowd roar. They absolutely love their racing here in Australia, and Davies nearly loses it. He manages to get that recover. What an amazing piece of driving as Herbert looks for the inside, and Davies just cuts across him. What drama, what excitement this is. And Brundle's in third place with Mansell. Still in second, Davies is going to be pushing. He wants that third position from Martin Brundle, because this is what will define who finishes in third place in the Drivers' World Championship in the final standings. Senna is the world champion still. Nigel Mansell in second place here in the race. He's way out of the points, but it's the battle for third place that we want to see today between Brundle and Davies. Over the line they come. Martin Brundle, there's only a handful of laps to go. He's right behind Jean Alesi, and Alesi isn't going to be wanting to let him get through anytime soon, because Alesi's in his own battle with Hakkinen, and he's only 1.5 seconds away from the finished driver. But Brundle's going round the left-hander and the right-hander, and Davies is catching him hand over fist.
This is going to be a tremendous battle to see if Martin Brundle can stay ahead of Davies now. Is he going to be able to keep that Williams-Renault behind him? He can't through there. Davies has really closed the gap up. Look at this. Davies he's all over the back of the arrows as Davies, he can't get up. Brundle goes through and Davies gets booked. Davies has spun.
And Davies loses it, trying to get past Jean Alesi at the same time. And Derek Warwick goes through. He lets Nigel Mansell through. But Davies nearly lost it again. And he's lost more time, and look at this, he's swerving about all over the back end of the arrows, and there's nothing that Brundle can do about it, and Davies absolutely cascading his Williams through the chicane, but he almost loses it yet again, and Brundle, he needs to try and get clear of Hakkinen, with Herbert closing the gap, and Davies is going to go for the inside, he's going to go for it again. That's the third time he's trying to pass somebody, he's making stick. Fantastic. Joey Davies is up into third place, but if Martin Brundle's got anything to say about it, he's not going to be given that. He wants to get that place absolutely back as soon as he can. And still they're not past Mika Hakkinen. Onto the Jack Brabham straight. Senna's 26 seconds in the lead. Mansell second, and Joey Davies, after a fine recovery drive, he's in third place. And at the moment, he's going to be taking third place in the driver's standings away from Martin Brundle, where Brundle has got to keep pushing. He's only half a second behind.
Martin Brundle's going to be really needing to see if he can absolutely get on it now as Davies is slow through the left-hander. That's going to give Brundle the run into the final hairpin. Is Davies going to have to go defensive? Look at this. Brundle goes to the outside. Davies is going to have to go defensive to block him. He does. He turns in a little bit early. Martin Brundle now through the final turn. Let's see if he can get past Joey Davies.
It's going to be real excitement here. We've only got a few laps to go. Davies goes to the inside. Brundle tries to make a move. He goes around the outside, but he can't get through. And Davies just narrows the gap, and Brundle's hit him. Brundle's on. He's into the wall and he's out. Oh my goodness, Martin Brundle. I hope he's okay. But I think that was a mistake from him. He was a little bit too eager to try and get past Joey Davies on the inside. And Davies had the line covered. And Brundle just hit his left rear wheel up into the air, and he's out of the race. And Joey Davies is now in third place with Herbert in fourth. Piquet's fifth. Let's have a look at the replay. Brundle, he goes for the inside. Davies just covers it. He's not chopping across the front of him. Davies has just got the racing line, and look at that. Brundle should have just got out of the gas there. I'm pretty sure that was all on Martin Brundle. Davies a completely innocent party. But look at this. Davies has been slowing. We think he's got a tire, he's got a puncture. Davies has got some sort of he's got a puncture on the front, and he's into the pits. Incredible scenes. Davies is into the pits yet again, and he's enabled Herbert to come through in third place with Piquet in fourth. Davies is slipping to fifth, Berger sixth, Patrici's in seventh, Hakkinen in eighth, Alesi ninth, and Donnelly in 10th place. And the two Ferraris are rounding the final few turns as we look at Ayrton Senna, who is going to round out this World Championship season with his 8th victory here in Australia. And you can hear the crowds cheering his name. Senna, he rounds the final right-hander, and Ayrton Senna is over the line to take the checkered flag. Ayrton Senna wins the Australian Grand Prix. Fantastic race. What a drive from the Brazilian. And where's Nigel Mansell to take second place for Williams? Is he coming through soon? There he is. Nigel Mansell's over the line. A great drive from the Englishman to take second. And Herbert is in third place. And he's pushing all the way with Nelson Piquet in fourth. And is Davies managed to get out ahead of Gerhard Berger? I think he has. Davies is going to come across the line to take fifth place.
But it's Ayrton Senna who's the race winner, with Gerhard Berger in 6th place as we look at Joey Davies. After a sterling drive, it's been a dramatic race for the Englishman, but he's going to take 5th place with Gerhard Berger. There he is, the Austrian, who takes his lead from Ferrari, being replaced by Michael Andretti, who's going to be joining this man, the 1990 world champion, Ayrton Senna. In a race that simply had everything, Senna underlined his genius with a drive worthy of any Ferrari legend, claiming his 8th win of the year and surprisingly his first since the Italian Grand Prix way back in September. And afterwards, with the 120,000 race day Aussie fans shouting his name, the Brazilian thanked his supporters and the Ferrari fans worldwide, whilst Mansell was content but still frustrated he failed to win a single race all year. Having put in another sterling drive to 5th place, Davies finishes the year in a career best 3rd, ahead of Brundle in the driver's standings, as Piquet leads McLaren in 2nd place, with Senna ending the year as champion. Ferrari are crowned constructors champions, with McLaren-Honda taking 2nd ahead of Williams-Renault in 3rd, and Arrows Ilmore, who slipped to 4th. It's been a year of immense excitement and drama, with 17 races producing 6 different winners, with Senna claiming 11 pole positions, 7 fastest laps and 8 race wins, all of which helped the Ferrari star to his 2nd World Championship and Ferrari's first since Jody Scheckter in 1979. Thanks for watching and for being with us all year. We'll see you next time in America for round 1 of the 1991 World Championship, which I'm sure will be just as action-packed as this season has been.
Get into gear, have no fear, where you are going, the battle is here, the road is long, you gotta be strong, and up for the fight, and up for the challenge to be number 1. Gotta push it, push to the limit. You gotta push it, push to the limit. You gotta push it, push to the